Well, thank you, and thank you both gentlemen for staying long enough to get to the last person and our newest member, Mr. Brindisi, as well. Leading up to this hearing, I wanted to understand the data-driven approach that I thought DOD would be using to develop their budget request, and in doing that I referenced two documents produced by your department. One is the annual performance plan, and the other is the annual performance report. Are you familiar with and have you reviewed those documents, and were they used in guiding your submission to this committee?
I am aware of them. I have not reviewed them recently, and I'd have to defer to my staff. I can get you an answer whether it was used.
There's just a couple things that stood out in there to me. The first strategic objective in this document says that we should restore military readiness to build a more lethal force. I think that sounds like a great objective. We can all agree with that.
It's the first line of effort in our strategy.
Yes. But I'll dig down because I thought I would find some great metrics, because this is a performance report, and the goal is that you use last year's budget. How did you accomplish that? Where are we this year? And therefore that's justifying the next requests that you're making to achieve those goals. So the number one priority goal, 1.1.1, says to improve the department's ability to measure, assess, and understand readiness. All of us who've served, we're familiar with the DERS system. I'm assuming that it's referring to that. And so it's 2020, and our goal is still to figure out how to report our readiness. And I even found a 1998 GAO study on military readiness that actually says in 1998 that for more than a decade, various audits and oversight organizations have questioned the thoroughness and reliability of DOD reports on readiness. So you add all this up, I'm not great at math here, but over 30 years we've been trying to figure out how to report our readiness. And then, you know, digging in further in your budget outline, you've specifically say that you're going to give $125 billion to readiness, and then within each service, Army $3.4 billion, Navy, Marine Corps $2.7, Air Force $1.7, additional funds to readiness. And also in your comments today, you said you support the Navy's decision to fund readiness. But if we can't even find out, if we don't even know what our readiness is, if we don't even know where, you know, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I think one of the changes I made when I came in is to get a better accounting of readiness. So we've changed the system. So and we're making a lot of great progress working between OSD and the Joint Staff, where we
measure. But
it's
still your number one objective is to actually figure out what readiness is?
No, I think we have good metrics on readiness. We now assess it based on our immediate reaction force.
So this document is maybe not accurate?
Could be dated because we've, at least since I've been on the job now 9 months, we're continuing to evolve the process and make changes, so we better understand, based on war plans, contingency plans, what do we need and when do we need it, so that we're prepared to put that at a highest readiness level, a second readiness level, et cetera.
Okay, so I appreciate that feedback. You feel like you have improvement, you have a better idea of readiness. It just was not reflected in this document, which was portrayed as being part of the process in developing the budget. So that was unclear to me. And, you know, I do want to associate myself with the comments from Mr. Courtney, Mr. Whitman, Mr. Gallagher about a concern about the direction we're going as far as shipbuilding, ship construction, especially if we haven't seen the 30-year shipbuilding plan. I won't reiterate at any length my concern about the optimized fleet response plan. I know that a study is forthcoming, and you indicated in the next couple weeks that I'll look forward to.
I think you and I agree on this issue. So
yes, and